Within this lesson, we'll use the area model and division to show the equivalence of two fractions. Here we're asked to simplify 2/8 as 1/4. What we'll first do is to draw an area model to represent 2/8. Two eighths. So we'll shade in 2 of these. Next, what we'll do is that we'll group 2 units together to make larger units. So we have one group here, another group, and another group. How many groups of 2 are there? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 2. So the denominator is 4. And how many of those groups of 2 are shaded? 1 is shaded. So we have shown how we can simplify 2/8 as 1/4. So 2/8 does equal 1/4. What happened to the 2 to get to 1? Right, we divided by 2. What happened to the 8 to get to 4? Right, we also divided by 2. We took 2 of those and then counted them as 1 when we grouped them. Here we're asked to simplify 3/12 as 1/4. So much in the same way, we'll start again with that area model. Since the numerator is 3, we'll go ahead and separate this into 3 parts to begin with, and then we're looking at 12ths. So we'll go 1, 2, and 3 for those to get 12. How many of those are shaded? Well, it says 3/12, so 3 of those are shaded. So 3/12 are shaded. Next, we're going to group, but instead of grouping 2, as we did before, we're going to group 3, because 3 is going to 1. All 3 of those are grouped together. So 3 of those again, another 3, and another 3 are grouped. How many groups of 3 are there? Well, there are 4 groups of 3, and how many groups of 3 are shaded? There's only one group of 3 that is shaded. Therefore, we have 3/12 eventually equaling 1/4. With our division, what we did is we divided in the numerator and the denominator by 3. We grouped 3 of those together at a time. So 3 divided by 3 does give us 1, and 12 divided by 3 gives us 4. So that's the number sentence to show that we composed groups of 3. It's your turn. Simplify 2/6 as 1/3. Start with an area model. So here's our area model. And we have 2/6. So 2 out of the 6 are shaded. Then we get to start to group. And we're going to group by 2 because we're going from 2 to 1. So we have 2/6 equaling 2. Write out a number sentence as well if you did not. Pause the video while you do your work. It would be 2 divided by 2, and then 6 divided by 2, so that we would get 1/3. And if we grouped it within our area model, grouping 2 together, we have 1, 2, and 3. That's why we have a 3 in the denominator. And what's shaded is 1 of those groups of 2 is shaded. That's why we have a 1 in the numerator. So 2/6 does equal 1/3. Check over your work. Here we're asked to show that 5/15 simplifies to 1/3. Now, our number sentence that would show this, we have 5/15, and we would go equals 5 divided by 5 in the numerator, and 15 also divided by 5 in the denominator, where we divide the numerator and the denominator by the same thing. That means we would be grouping 5 within our area model, which we will see in a second. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. So when we're drawing our area model, we want to make sure that we start with 5. And we have 3 groups of 5. Another group of 5, and another group of 5. And so when we started, we had 5 of those 15 shaded. And then we can show those groups. One group of 5, another group of 5, and another group of 5. And that is a group of 5/15 there. So 5/15 does equal 1 out of those 3, or 1/3. Why are they equivalent? Well, look, there's 5/15 there, and that's also 1/3. They show that same area. Let's look at one last problem to show that 4/8 simplifies to 1/2. So 4/8, we'll go 4 first, and it looks like we'd have another group of 4, so that we would have 8 total. And 4 out of those 8 are shaded. 4/8 grouping, we'll group 4 at a time. There's 4 there, and there's another 4 there. And then so 4/8 equals, we grouped 4 at a time, that's why it's 4 divided by 4, and that's also why it's 8 divided by 4. We went from 8 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, to 1, 2. And the number of those 2 that were shaded is only one of them. That's why 4/8 is equivalent to 1/2. So the new fraction there is 1/2. So we've shown fraction equivalence using area models. You'll notice again that we're dividing both the numerator and denominator, and we divided by 4 there because we were grouping by 4. A common mistake here, and I guess it's not really a mistake, but in some instances people will actually just divide by 2 or group by 2's, in which case you would end up getting 2/4. So while it's partially simplified, it's not fully simplified.